The Supreme Court of India has upheld the two-child policy in Rajasthan. The court has said that the two-child eligibility criteria of the Rajasthan government for seeking public employment is not discriminatory and does not violate the constitution. The court also said that denying government benefits to those who have more than 2 kids is not illegal and that the objective here is to promote family planning. This was in response to a plea that was filed by an ex-serviceman who was denied the job of a constable on grounds of having more than 2 children. Now, India does not have a two-child policy at the national level. There are currently 9 states as per our calculation which have their own such policy. Those states are there on your screens right now. These are the states which have a two-child policy in the country. This includes some of the most populous states like Uttar Pradesh, even Madhya Pradesh and several other states in the country. There are 3 states of Chhattisgarh, Haryana and Himachal Pradesh, interestingly, that have revoked the two-child policy. They had the policy, they don't have it anymore. So, what is the two-child policy? It is essentially a government-imposed limitation on having 2 kids per family. How does the government really do this? They give incentives to families with 2 kids and take away rights and incentives like government employment or the eligibility to contest local polls or take away subsidies, etc. from those people who have more than 2 children, or sometimes a lot of these free education benefits, for instance, don't apply to the 3rd child. So while there is no pan-India policy in place yet, there are few states, like I said, which have their own bouquet of limitations that they seek to impose on families with more than 2 children. Now, interestingly, the two-child policy has been tabled over 35 times in Parliament since independence, but hasn't come into force at the national level, which obviously points to the fact that the debate around the two-child policy is nuanced and, dare I say, complicated. Well, let's look at the larger context. India is now the most populous country in the world, overtaking China. But our fertility rate is on the decline and our population, with or without these measures, is also expected to start declining by 2060. So do we need such a policy? Does it actually help solve the population problem? And more importantly, are we doing enough to offset the wider social, religious, political, health and even gender ramifications of such a policy? While the arguments in favour of implementing a two-child policy are pretty clear, and this is in tune with the National Population Policy to reduce and stabilise India's population by 2045, what does this policy mean for gender equality? Will it further render women more vulnerable to unsafe abortions? What about the right to reproductive freedom and privacy? And also, how does this play out for minority communities with a target on their back for trying to outnumber the majority? Like I said, the debate here is nuanced. So on the show tonight, we ask, is a two-child policy progressive or coercive?